Helen Adams Keller was an American author, disability rights advocate, political activist, and lecturer. Keller was the first of two daughters born to Arthur H. Keller and Catherine Adams Keller. Helen was born on June 27, 1880 in Tuscumbia, Alabama. She died in her sleep on June 1, 1968 at her home in Easton, Connecticut, a few weeks before her 88th birthday. She lost her sight and hearing at the age of 19 months to an illness now believed to have been scarlet fever. Or she was educated by Anne Sullivan. In 1894, she moved to New York to attend the Wright Humason School for the Deaf. And that was 5 years ago. Later on, advice of Alexander Graham Bell, her parents applied to the Perkins Institute for the Blind in Boston for a teacher, and from that school hired Anne Mansfield Sullivan. In 1896, she returned in Massachusetts and she entered Cambridge School of Weston. 2 years later, she was admitted to Radcliffe College, where at the age 24, she graduated with honors. So, she became the first blind and deaf person to graduate in college. Through Sullivan's extraordinary her to become an important influence on the treatment of the blind and deaf. The relevant story of Helen Keller. Helen was an American author, political activist, and lecturer. In 1903, she wrote her big autobiography, which is The Story of My Life. It was the first of series of 11 books. So that's one of her books who wrote. She also worked hard as a lawyer, a lot of cases for the disability rights. In 1915, she created the no-profit organization Helen Keller International for Blindness Prevention. So, she worked as a lawyer. So, there are quotations where Helen Keller wrote. First is, what is very difficult at first, if we keep on trying, gradually becomes easier. So, in this quote, do not think of the day's failures, but of the success that may come tomorrow. You have set yourself a difficult task, but you will succeed if you persevere. And you will find a joy in overcoming obstacles. Remember, no effort that we make to attain something beautiful is ever lost. The second quote is, alone we can do so little, together we can do so much, according to Helen Keller. So this in the quote, we when work together on a common goal, we can achieve things beyond our greatest imagination. This is especially true if our intentions are real and the purpose is for the greater of good. The third quotation is, you cannot touch love, but you can feel the sweetness it pours into everything. Those are the inspirational Helen Keller quotes. Obstacle that Helen Keller's overcoming, which is when she was 19 months old, she contracted an illness described by doctors as an acute congestion of the stomach and the brain, which might have been scarlet fever or meningitis. In addition to her many appearances on the lecture circuit, Keller in 1988 made a movie in Hollywood, which is Deliverance, to dramatize the plight of the blind, and during the next 2 years supported on herself and Sullivan on the vaudeville stage. She also spoke and wrote in support of women's rights and other liberal causes, and in 1940 strongly backed the United States entry into the World War II. The illness left her both deaf and blind. She learned to speak through the teaching of Anne S., a former student of the PI for the Blind and itself blind. Widely honored throughout the world and invited to the White House by every U.S. president from the Grover Cleveland to Lyndon B. Johnson, Keller altered the world's perception of the capacities of the handicapped. More than any act in her long life, her courage, intelligence, and dedication combined to make her a symbol of the triumph of the human spirit over adversity.